So this next team is also a guest team, and this would make a connection for Capcom versus SNK. So like if you love fighting games, you played the Capcom versus SNK series. They had Capcom versus SNK 1. They had some sort of like championship edition style type game, was kind of like a 1.5, and then they had Capcom versus SNK 2. So all fans want a Capcom versus SNK 3. So what better way to be able to connect and establish that relationship once again is to have a Street Fighter dedicated team. So I have two out there, two teams that I have listed, but let's go through the first one first. You know that Rio and Robert have some sort of relation with the Street Fighters Ryu and Ken, having the similarities and all that stuff. But then they started to evolve the characters and making them their own thing. The history with Dan, Dan being like kind of like the reply back, kind of like the blow, I guess, to have a character like Dan be like, oh yeah, King, Art of Fighting is whack and all that stuff. But Dan becoming this popular favorite character nowadays, and especially with Dan coming out for Street Fighter V in season 5, I believe. What better way to have a Sakyo team? So if you know Dan and his relations to other characters, then you can kind of guess where I'm going with this. So team captain Dan Hibiki, trying to showcase the Sakyo dojo, being the strongest dojo out there, kind of parody the Art of Fighting team's MO. So Dan doing his thing, promoting Sakyo dojo. Then you have your second member, Blanca, who knows Dan as Jimmy. So Dan and Blanca having that relationship of being childhood friends. So yeah, so you have Dan Hibiki and Blanca being childhood friends. So that's where the relationship is right there. So Dan and Blanca, that'd be Blanca would kind of make up what Dan lacks, So Blanca being that wild beast character, being able to have the mobility and with his ball techniques and all that stuff. So, and electricity. So you have Dan and Blanca, and then the last one would be Sakura, and Sakura being the quote unquote student of the Sakyo dojo, but not really. So more so a student of Ryu. So Sakura tagging along, just wanting to fight different fighters, and Dan signed up for the King of Fighters tournament and signed up Blanca and Sakura, and maybe Sakura's going because she has no choice, or maybe she wants to help out Dan. Yeah, whatever the case may be for Sakura. So that would be the 3-people team for the Sakyo dojo team. Would be Dan, Hibiki, Blanca, and Sakura. This next team, like I said, I have one of two Capcom related teams. This other team is also Street Fighter related, and they are, again, relation to the Capcom versus SNK 2 roster, would be the Ansatsuken team, right? So when you think of Ansatsuken, not Shotokan, that's not a related style to what these characters were portraying, but the Ansatsuken team, in my head, would be consisting of Ryu, Ken, and Sean. Sean, Ken student, needing to like grow and learn and fight other fighters and see the other styles that are out there, and for Sean to not have shown up since Street Fighter 3, the series, Second Impact and Third Strike, not showing up since. It would be interesting to see like how he does in that dynamic in the King of Fighters setting. Ryu and Ken, popular characters, kind of alike at glance, but when you delve into playing them, you see more of their intricacies, with Ryu focusing on his fireballs and strong hits, while Ken is the more flashier type, with the kicks and focusing on the Shoryuken. So it would be interesting to see the matchups between Ryu and Terry, Ryu and Kyo. I mean, we've seen these matchups before with Capcom versus SNK, but to see them again in the King of Fighters setting, especially in a 20 whatever, whenever King of Fighters 15 is released, to see it in a more up-to-date setting would be pretty interesting. Just seeing, like, again, Ken and Terry, Ken versus Yuri, Ken versus Kyo. Yeah, just seeing those combinations of matchups would be pretty interesting. Oh, Kim versus Ken. I want to see the battle of kicks. King versus Ken. Sean versus Shingo. Like the matchups there would be pretty, like, really, really interesting on paper. Sure, it's a Shoto team. You come to know and expect what these people would have on their roster. Their move list. But this guest team would make that connection of Capcom versus SNK to be reignited, and maybe a Capcom versus SNK 3 can come out down the line. I'm really hoping that they do that again. So to be able to see an Ansatsuken team would be pretty cool. I had another team out there, and it would probably be like the popular characters for Street Fighter. So like I would think like Ryu, Chun-Li, and Guile sort of thing. And I'm a Guile main, so like I would want to see Guile back, in a Capcom versus SNK mashup setting. So I would like to see how SNK takes the Street Fighter characters and mold them and see how they do in the King of Fighters setting. So yeah, that's the other guest team would be an Ansatsuken team. The first one I mentioned before, the Sakyo team. So two Street Fighter related teams would be pretty interesting to see as guest teams if they're trying to expand the team roster for King of Fighters 15. So this next team is a kind of a throwback to '98, I believe, and we're back to talking about just King of Fighters characters. So this next team is a throwback to the '98 team. The team name was called the Masters team. So in '98, I believe the Masters team consists of Sasayu, Kyo's dad, Takuma, Ryo's dad, and the last one is Hydern, Leona's dad. So you had a pretty formidable team in that sense, where they're all the fathers of these other characters that are well established, but yet they still have a thing or two in their sleeves to be able to show these young Thundercats. So for me personally, I would love to see another new Masters team. And for me, that Masters team will consist of Tung Fu Ru from King of Fighters 14, the main hero China team, being the teacher leading the new students. Maybe the main protagonist team has a set number already, so maybe Tung joins this team for fun. Maybe joins this team to keep an eye on the students and keep an eye on what's going on in the King of Fighters tournament, just from his own eyes and maybe from a different team. So Tung Fu Ru, me personally, I like Tung Fu Ru. Kind of reminds me of Master Roshi in a sense, but not as perverted in that sense. Being able to just project his chi into like a big, strong, yoked energy form, and in Fatal Fury 1 being able to like kind of metamorphose, like kind of Hulk out in a sense, in a beast mode sort of thing. So just wanting to see Tung Fu Ru come back again for King of Fighters 15 is something that I would like to see. But if Tung Fu Ru is not available, and maybe either he's back with the main China protagonist team, the character that I would like to see, since I've been playing Art of Fighting recently, would be Li Pai Long. The reason why Li Pai Long I would want to see come into the Masters team is because he has yet to show up in a not official, because he entered into the Art of Fighting 2 King of Fighters tournament, but in the team setting of King of Fighters, he has yet to debut in that setting. So, being in a Masters team, Li Pai Long would definitely fit that Masters team vibe. Being really fast, for his age, being able to spin slash with his claws, retractable claws that he has, and just being able to be as mobile as he is for that age, would definitely be an interesting look and take for the King of Fighters setting. And for me, I would love to see Li Pai Long, show up and represent in that Masters team. The other characters would be Gang Il, Kim's master, maybe wanting to join a different team from Kim, maybe just want to have fun, maybe want to find a new girlfriend. Gang Il is that Ric Flair type, like, styling and profiling, but like he's still the master sort of thing. So that's if Gang Il were to return, and he's not in the Kim team, that I would like him to come back in the Masters team. And the final character for the Masters team would be Takuma from Art of Fighting, and Ryo and Yuri's dad. Just whether he's Mr. Karate or just barbecue, Takuma. I would love to see Takuma come back in the King of Fighters 15 setting. Maybe to as well as promote Kyokujin barbecue. I would love to see that in this Masters team. But yeah, that would be the Masters team. Tung Fu Ru or Li Pai Long from Art of Fighting, Gang Il, Kim's master, and Takuma from Art of Fighting. And this final team is kind of another guest team, but it's related to SNK, and by meaning that is that this team would be related to the Akari Warriors team, specifically to Hydern, as they've done missions with the Akari Warriors team with like Ralph, Clark, Leona, Whip, that team, in conjunction with this next guest team that I'm going to be talking about, which is the Metal Slug team. They have shown up in the Ikari Warriors endings, in debriefings for trying to investigate what the King of Fighters is. The Metal Slug team has been seen in those endings, so they know Ralph, they know Clark, they know Leona, they know Whip, they know Hydern being their commanding officer. So being able to see this team would be pretty interesting. Even though they use guns, artillery, in that sense, they would have to tone that down in this fighting tournament setting. Maybe using beanbags and just the non-lethal stuff. Still use their guns, but it would have to be non-lethal in that sense. But I also think about Whip, as she has either a throw or a move where she shoots down on the opponent. So I would hope to think that Whip's rounds are also non-lethal. But again, it'd be interesting to see a Metal Slug team come out in a King of Fighters team setting. I want to say one of the characters did show up in a Maximum Impact. I want to say that did happen, or they only showed up in a costume form of like one of the existing characters. Either or. Like I do want to say that one of them did show up to be a fighter in the King of Fighters Maximum Impact games, but head's kind of fuzzy on that. But the team roster would be Marco Rossi, Tarma Roving, and Fiolina Gurmi. I played the Metal Slug games. I'm not too familiar with these characters. I know Marco and Tarma are the main two from the first set of games. I know Fio was playable later on, but still a kind of a supporting character if Marco and Tarma were kind of like just being player 1 and player 2 only. Yeah, but again, I would think this would be an interesting use of a guest team using the Metal Slug characters, because there are a bunch of Metal Slug characters now that are out there compared to the first game when it was just Marco and I believe Tarma. But yeah, a Metal Slug team would be pretty freaking interesting, as long as they use non-lethal ammunition against these fighters, these martial artists, these mystic masters, these killers and all that stuff. It would be a whole heap of trouble in that sense. So yeah, these are my speculation dream team that I have listed. What do you guys think of all these dream teams? The Pow Pow Cafe team, the Junhoon team, the Athena Fan Club team, Fighters History team, Sakyo team, and Ansatsuken team. the new Masters team, the Metal Slug team. What do you guys think of those predictions, those speculation, guesses, all that stuff? What teams do you want to see to show up for the King of Fighters 15? Like, what is your dream team that you want to see from a different game series? What do you think the Fatal Fury team is going to consist of this time around? Is it going to be the same three of like Terry, Andy, and Joe, or it's going to be a makeshift of different characters? Is it going to be like Terry and Geese for whatever reason? Like, I doubt that's going to be a team, like a canon team. But if we're talking about shifting all these rosters around and it's going to be different from what we're usually seeing, then kind of the doors open to these combination of teams that we come to know, like Japan team, K Dash team, the female team, the Kim team, USA team. What about these guys? USA team has yet to show up officially since '98. Yeah, there's a bunch of teams that are out there that are kind of staple at this point. But like if they're gonna rotate the rosters around, I'm kind of interested to see what we're gonna see. So right now, at the time of this video, from the teaser, we know that Kei, we know that Leona, Kyo, Benimaru, and Shuei are the 5 characters confirmed for King of Fighters 15. We don't know where their team sets are gonna be. If Kyo, Shuei, and Benimaru are actually gonna be a team, or if we're just gonna see teams that have been together before gonna be split this time. We don't know. So, guys, let me know what you guys think of these speculation teams. I know some of them are out there, but it's at the same time, I hope I did pretty good, and that it may be possible for these characters to not only debut in the King of Fighters setting, but they would be together as possible King of Fighters teams. So let me know in the comments section down below what do you guys think about these speculation teams. What teams that you want to see come together, what characters that you want to see put together that could be doable and possible for King of Fighters 15. Let me know in the comment section down below what do you guys think and your thoughts and all that stuff. If you like all the speculation and guesses until the first trailer for the King of Fighters 15 will be revealed, we'll definitely do like a reaction video of some sort, just seeing what the official roster can potentially be for the first trailer. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me, guys. Again, if you like this video, hit that like button. If you guys are interested in the channel stuff that we do, we are going to be doing a King of Fighters focused content coming up, just because King of Fighters 15 is hot right now. So yeah, hit that subscribe button, and thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you guys next time. Right, peace.